Cool. Welcome everyone to another 100 Days of No Code workshop. Really excited to be joined by Kevin and Michelle from Typedream, who last week got #1 spot on Product Hunt in a very well-deserved launch. And I'm really excited to see more about the product, hear more about how we can get started, and just kind of get going and building beautiful landing pages, because I've been seeing it all over my Twitter feed, and now I actually want to make one myself. So so I think we're gonna have some time for questions at the end as well, but I'll pass over to you, Kevin, to kind of take it from here.
Yeah, for sure. So I think before we begin the workshop, I'll give you guys a little bit of context on what Typedream is. So we started Typedream earlier this year because apparently I found a lot of people were building websites on Notion. And so that piqued our interest. We saw like thousands of people doing it. I ended up interviewing hundreds of them. And basically what they said was that they really liked building websites on Notion because it was very intuitive. And so really piqued my interest. I asked them why Notion specifically, right? And then these people said it was very intuitive, the typing experience, the opinionated design. And so I asked them, what are the top 3 features that you guys would like? And if we built that out for you, you'll try out our MVP. And apparently those top 3 features are very, very simple. Number one, they wanted a navigation bar. Number two, they wanted native buttons. And number three, they wanted the page to be built on top of a static web page, something like Next.js. So then we built out the MVP in a couple of weeks, and then we tested it out. We asked people if they wanted to pay for it, and they do. We've been growing ever since. Launched on Product Hunt. Right now, I believe we have over like 4,000 users. And yeah, can't wait to share with you guys. I'm going to share my screen after this just to walk you over through the tool. And then Michelle's going to help me out with rebuilding one of the best landing pages that we've seen online, which is Linears. And yeah, just show you guys how easy it is to build a good looking website with the Notion-like interface on Typedream. So yeah, without further ado, I'll share you my screen and give you a glimpse on Typedream. So this is the editor. After you sign in, this is what you're going to be seeing. So our editor looks, a lot like Notion. Nothing to get too intimidated by. Up top, we have like a toolbar here. We have undo, redo, just in case the keyboard shortcuts don't work. We have something like an X-ray mode, which gives you a visualization of where the elements are at, even the blocks, the spacing. So when you want to move things around, it's much easier to do. On the right of that, we have preview. What that does is exactly what it says. It gives you a preview of the website. And to the right of that, we have the light mode, dark mode toggle for you to pick which theme you want to edit in. So, just click on that and then I'll switch over to theme. To the right of that, we have publish. So here you can choose which pages you want to publish and what theme you want to publish the page in. And then, yeah, once you click publish, you're all set. Nothing to really configure. That's
Hey,
it.
hey, Kevin, I was just gonna mention, I'm not sure. I think it looks quite small to me on the screen. I'm not sure if that's. I think other people. If you could maybe zoom in slightly. I'm not sure. Yeah. It.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think that's due to my screen being too big, but
It must. Yeah. Tony said, "Have you got a massive screen?"
yes, I
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
do actually. What about is it much
Ah,
better?
yes, that's better now. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, gotcha.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want me to walk over it again, or is that
I
all?
think we saw it just about, but yeah, no, all good to carry on.
Yeah, for sure. So and then yeah, to continue on the left hand side, we have this panel that you can minimize anytime you want if you want to focus on editing. But other than that, the function is to add pages to it. If you click on that, that's how you add a new page. And then if you want to add a nested page, for organization purposes, you can click on this one, add page inside, right? And then for every single page, you see that there's a page options. Click on that. What that does is it tells you, you can edit things like a title, so that when people click on the page, it shows on the Chrome tab or browser tab a specific name. You want to change the URLs for pretty URLs as well, you can do it over here. Yeah, and then the other things that we have is also SEO, and editing the Twitter, Facebook cards, metadata, everything is over here. And I think the last thing for Michelle helped shows you guys how to build an actual website on Typedream. We can go to settings. This is how you edit the base URL, site name, how it appears on the tabs. If you want to add custom domain, this is the place to go. SEO metadata for the entire website is here, not just for the.
Actually, Kevin,
Yeah.
sorry. I just noticed as well. I'm not sure if your mouse is actually. It looks like it's frozen, or it's like your mouse is not. We're not seeing what you're doing with your mouse.
Oh, got it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
showing again now?
yes. Yeah, that's showing. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so sorry about that, guys. But yeah,
No
I'm gonna
worries.
repeat that for a little bit. So yeah, right here we have the left panel. You can just minimize it however you want if you want to focus on editing. But yeah, on the left panel you have things like adding a page. If you click on that, it gives you a new page. And if you want to add a nested page, this is where you click instead of here. Uh, that's usually for organization purposes. If you want to make a blog, put it inside. That's how you do it. And then for every single page, we have options. That's how you sort of edit the title, the page URL, what appears on the browser tab, and then the URL address on the browser as well. You can create like some slash something over here. You can also edit the website, the page's metadata, Twitter card, Facebook card, so that when you paste that link to people in social media, it'll pop up a certain image, right? And then the last thing before Michelle helps you with showing you how to build websites on Typedream, we have something called site settings. This is where you edit the website name and then the custom domain. You can also edit the website's SEO and metadata here. So this is for the base URL. Say something like 100daysofnocode.com. If you paste that online on social media, you know, this is how the card is going to look like, or how the Facebook card is going to look like. And beyond that, we also have something like code injection on the site header and the site body. What that does is, if you want to insert something like this, right, a chat bot, or you want to insert gated content, this is where you go. And next thing, we have something like a collaborator, which lets you invite all of your collaborators. You're building something with someone, you can go here. And the last thing, we have our billing. Right now, we only have one plan, which is the launch plan. It's $12 a month if you commit annually, and 15 if you don't. So let's get back to the editor, and I'm going to pass this to Michelle for her to start building a website. Hold on, Michelle. Let's give her 10 seconds. Should be good to go. Good. And she should be sharing the screen now. But
Yeah,
yeah, so
perfect.
yeah, on the left side, we see Linear's landing page, which is designed really, really well. We're going to try to replicate it in this workshop. And yeah, let's get started. So first of all, we're going to set the theme to dark mode. And then we're going to quickly add the nav bar, change the icon. You're going to choose an image. We have all of the assets preloaded as well. So that's how you change your website's icon. And then, yeah, you should be good to go in terms of the nav bar. Next thing, we're going to start with a section template. So a section template is kind of like a template, but it's modular. So if a template never quite fits your style 100%, you can always use something that's called a section template. and then you can start editing things out. So notice here, the editing process is very similar to Notion. It's like editing a Word document, so it's not something that's too intimidating for people to try. But yeah, so we're almost done with the text and the button here. Um, Downwards, we're going to start uploading the nearest assets. Uh, and then we should be good with the first part of the page. We did that in less than a minute. Next one, we're going to start uploading all these logos for the clients, typical SaaS landing page. Uh, yeah, all right. Let's that. Upload a couple of logos. Right. Resizing. Yep. And then we're also next, we're going to move on to the next section. Add some more text. That's just a lot of containers to showcase the features. Should be pretty quick to do. Yep, exactly. That's how you change the background color as well for the cards. And then we're just going to copy paste the text, and we're going to move on to the next one. All right, let's move on to the next section. It's going to showcase the features that Linear really wants to show. Then we're going to upload the image and then drag it to make it look side by side. All right. Boom. And then I think the last thing we're going to do there is to stretch it 100%. So it stretches from the left to the right side. Yeah. Can also do it via max width. All right. Looks good. Looks fantastic. Awesome.
So Kevin, yeah, I had a question
Yeah, for sure.
on that just while you're building. So how configurable each of the blocks that you're kind of pulling in? So whether is it very much like Notion in the way you can kind of change the color and the boldness of it and stuff. But can you also kind of change the sizing and just how configurable, yeah, are these like blocks?
Yeah, for sure. So I think I'd say that we're a little bit more configurable
Mm,
when compared to Notion in terms of the types of
mm,
the elements. And then the sizing, though, it's still limited to a couple. We have things like, a header, a paragraph, a subtitle, but we can't really do, a specific sizing yet. If you want to
mm,
put like text sizing of certain pixel
mm,
or px, we can't do that just yet. But
mm.
yeah, I think Michelle just clicked on it and showed you around on
Awesome.
the
Awesome.
sizing and then yeah, the type of. element we have. That's also, you can change the colors. You can use custom colors if you want. You can use gradients if you want. And yeah, you can make it bold, italic, underlined. And yeah, that's, I guess, how customizable the text is.
Awesome. No, thanks for sharing that. That's really useful.
For sure. So I think we're quite about done with the rebuild, although we didn't do like all the copy pasting of the text, but it looks very similar to what Linear's landing page is. And we did that in about less than 10 minutes. Just showcasing you guys how powerful it is to build a website on Typedream. If you just want to get something quick up and running in a couple of minutes or less than half an hour, you could definitely try it out. And yeah, as you can see, if we preview this, it's going to look really beautiful. And it's as if a designer made it, but it's just you. Oh, maybe just go back to the editor. Yeah. It's as if a designer made it, but it was just you editing a Word document. Yeah, I guess that's about it in terms of the rebuild.
That's awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to kind of show us around in terms of the feature set or anything before we enter into sort of questions? I've actually just seen a question in the chat from
Yeah,
Max
for sure.
asking around, can you upload different fonts yeah, to Typedream?
Yeah, for sure, Max. So actually, we're working on that right now. We're integrating with Google Fonts so that you don't even need to upload it, and then you could just click on it. But yeah, right now, how people do it is typically go to the site settings, and then you have custom code. That's how you add custom fonts. Yeah, we have a tutorial going that you could just read through and yeah, add your custom. And then I guess the next question is about CTA. So right now we only have a simple button that you can link to your store or a Stripe checkout or somewhere that you want. But yeah, we're actively working on more CTAs. But yeah, I'll be curious to know what sort of CTAs you have in mind, Tony, about that.
Yeah, feel free to come with me, Tony, to kind of expand on that if you had any in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, can you add to like your mailing list, or does it like have to route through something else currently before you can like put it into whatever your whatever your system is that you use, or just what can you make the buttons do? I guess it should have been how that phrase. Can you do Stripe? Can you do things like that? Or are you more limited for right now as it's still new?
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of the button, what we basically do is just link it somewhere. So any platform that has a link, usually when people build on Typedream, they link it to Stripe checkout links or Mailchimp
Okay.
mail collection or Typeform. You can always do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony. That was a great question. And thanks, Michelle, for sharing that link on custom fonts. Really useful. Is there, yeah, I just was curious, is there anything else in terms of the platform that you'd kind of like to show us in terms of functionality or things you can do or tips and tricks, Kevin, that are kind of good to show? Before we open up for questions.
All right. I'll go ahead and take back the screen sharing, Michelle, if you don't mind. I'm gonna show you guys this feature that's embed that I think Studio 41 just asked. So I'll quickly share that and show you guys how to embed. Um, Let me know if you guys can see this, if it's too big.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Hey. But yeah, how to edit embed, it's basically just slash and then type embed. So these are both embed blocks. You can go to YouTube, click on that, paste the link, and you should be good to go. And then, yeah, you can sort of resize it however big you want it to be. So embed here, you can literally embed anything you want. It's not limited to, videos or audio. We've tried embedding things like, 3D models, Airtable. You can also embed Typeform. Literally anything that has an iframe or a link, you can always embed. You can also embed things like, Google Drive files. You can put it here.
Awesome. No, that's good to know. Cool. Should we kind of just open it up now, open the floor to some more questions? Yeah. I guess I wanted to just drop one around the roadmap. Obviously you guys are you know you're still early, but you've got an amazing product already. Where is this kind of heading? Would love to know like what your top like next steps are, and what features people have to look forward to.
For sure. So I think the next steps for us, what we're focusing on for sure is the appearance of the website. So more custom styling, different types of buttons, and we're going to add fonts to that. So, your website can sort of look like your own. Websites aren't going to look like each other. That's our main focus right now. And then beyond that, we're going to be adding things like a CMS. If you want to post blogs or you want to, add items to your shop, we're going to be supporting that. And then right after that, we're going to be also integrating things like native payments. So then you can just type in /payments. And then you can put in the item price, and then you'll be all set. But yeah, I guess beyond that, we're also going to be supporting use cases like digital drops. You know how Kanye West likes to do drops for all of his merch. And then we've seen a lot of examples with companies like Stir and Mischief. We're going to be supporting a lot of those drops for the more recent Gen Z marketing vibes to it. Yeah, those are on our roadmap right now.
Nice. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, fitting really well. There's lots of people in the community that I think there's about 9 people with their own product studios now in the community. So yeah, Typedream is primed to get those drops out pretty quickly. That's yeah, excited for that. Cool. I'll open it up now. Do people have other questions for Kevin or Michelle before we close out today's session? And feel free to come off mute as well. Yeah. I cannot hear a question or see a question. Really clean. Yeah. Really clean looking from Max. So good feedback there. I was curious as well. I'm sure you get this question a lot, but obviously there are a few no-code learning page builders in the space. So I guess where do you see yourself in this landscape, and what position do you see yourself occupying and really leaning into as your main asset that people can, or reason why people use Typedream?
Yeah, for sure. So I think after a couple of months of private beta, now we're seeing sort of a pattern on why people use Typedream. So if you can imagine a spectrum of website builders, on the easy end, you have things like Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, where you sort of start and end with the template. If you sort of try to edit the template, it'll break, right? On the other end of the spectrum, you have companies like Webflow, EditorX, which is an open canvas. You can build really customized websites, and it looks really beautiful, but the learning curve is too high. And at the end of the day, you always have to hire a freelancer to do the job for you. We fit right in the middle, where it's a Notion-like interface, so it's very similar to a lot of people. They could just start and do it themselves. and it's gonna look beautiful. We put guardrails on for the user, so they can't really make a bad looking site. So yeah, we sit just right there in the middle, and our main use cases is typically, say for example, a company comes to use us. Um, Even if they want like a heavily customized site, they'll stick with Webflow or do custom code. And However, when they want to build things like a supplementary page, so usually companies have things like an FAQ, about us, careers page, all those pages that are also on the navigation bar on the landing page, they typically don't want to build that out like with crazy designs. They want to update it daily. So these high frequency edit pages are typically what people come typing for. So something that they want to edit on a daily, on a weekly basis um, themselves. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sort of moving quickly. Yeah, and as Tony said, yeah, guardrails on the design is perfect for design dumb people like myself. I'm sure you're not, Tony, but yeah, it helps having those restraints for sure. So that's a really exciting part of the platform. And I just saw a question from Prajot. Around whether he can integrate custom JavaScript or jQuery plugins like Particle.js into Typedream.
For sure. So as of right now, you can inject any kind of custom code that you want into the website. Although, in terms of like really smooth working integrations, we haven't done that just yet. So that's also on our roadmap. We're working on it so that people can just start injecting code into this Typedream page in the future.
Awesome. Cool. I do not think there's any more questions, but if there is, just feel free to chuck them in the chat. Before we wrap up, I want to kind of hand over to you, Kevin. If you had any call to actions, any closing words to leave us on today from this workshop.
Yeah, for sure. I guess thank you so much, guys, for attending the workshop and seeing our tool Typedream in action. I guess last thing from us is that we do have a 10% promo. So if you guys want to go ahead and claim that, I'm going to give the link to the format to Max, special to these 100 Days No Code community. And yeah, I guess that's it from us.
Awesome. No, thank you. Yeah, that's really exciting, and I will definitely be using that. I just saw one again from Prajo actually before we close out. Is API integrations on the roadmap to fetch data and insert it into a block?
Yes, definitely. So that is actually on the roadmap. You'll be able to insert data from things like Google Sheets or Airtable, and any other CMS that you want. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, everyone. I'll just stop sharing. Cool. I'll see everyone now. Thanks everyone for coming. Yeah, I shall catch you all in Slack and Twitter. Thank you again, Kevin, for a really wonderful workshop. And if you have any other resources to share with me, I can share with the community afterwards. So yeah, have a great week, everyone. Thanks for dropping by as always, and catch you soon. Cheers. Yeah, bye.